have an accountability software. I tell those I mentor, I have porn blockers on my phone, and they're like, you're a man of God. I say I'm a man of God, but I'm a man before a man of God. You know, these are very honest conversations.
I am a man before I am a man
Yes.
of God. Come on, hashtag I am a man before I am a man.
Yeah, so put
Wow.
a block. I'll give a short example. Eric, there's a day
Wow.
I had my devotion, read my Bible. Then I went to Boom Play to just play a song for worship. Was opening Boom Play and something that wasn't good pop. And I tell them, you may get yourself in a place where you start arguing. You want to rebuke in the name of Jesus, but you want to open.
And you want to open.
So blockers are systems. Have accountability partners of the same gender.
Come on.
Brothers that you can tell them before it happens. And even if it happened, you can tell them, bro, I messed up and I need to be helped. Have those that will hold you as an iron sharpens an iron. So a man sharpens a man. So have systems. Number 3, be graceful to yourself.
Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Mukristu. Remember, we represent Christ in everything that we are doing. All right. How are you there? This is Eric Mukristu, your host, and I'm very, very super excited to welcome you back to Christ Represented Podcast. And today I'm very happy. This is another episode, and I am sure that you're going to love this. But I just want to thank you for the encouragement, for being there, and you people have really been expanding this. You've been sharing the links, you've been writing, texting, and also commenting. You guys have really been doing an amazing job, and you've really been there. And of course, we are here every week, so we ask you to continue doing what you are doing. You watch this and you share it, and you have to make sure that you put a comment there, you leave a comment there, because it is really helping us. And absolutely, we are building a community, and what a blessing, what is an honor to always have you here, have you tuning in. Thank you so very much, people. I really appreciate you so much. I'm always short of words, but I want you to see my gratitude. I really appreciate the work that you're doing. And today, this episode is really different. I have my brother, and I am super excited. My brother, I am happy to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much for honoring our invitation. I know you really had a lot on your table, but you've really respected this, you've honored this, and man, I'm super excited. I just want to let my people know that, man, I am happy to have you here.
Thank you.
How have you been, brother?
I've been good. I thank God. I have been doing well.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's really nice, man. I really don't know even where to begin from. Because you are such an amazing brother.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to give you an opportunity and talk about yourself. And my community now needs to know a little bit about my brother Branly. How about you go ahead and then you greet them, you tell them what you do, and your where you're from, because you're not from this land. But of course we are brothers, and you tell them where you're from and what you're doing in that amazing and beautiful country.
Awesome. I am Branly Bernardo Madati. I'm a Tanzanian.
Oh, yes.
I'm a Tanzanian. I come from Tanzania. But being a child of God, I keep traveling everywhere because this universe belongs to Him, you know.
I know.
Yeah, so the feeling is mutual, Eric. I feel so blessed to be here.
Wow.
I have had a busy schedule for real, but I felt so much honored to be invited to speak to your community. So my call is into mentorship, counseling, coaching, teaching.
Wow.
So my work moves
I know, man.
moves around those areas. So back in TZ, I lead two initiatives. One is called Purpose Discovery. Purpose Discovery is a Christian platform, a Christian ministry that focuses at helping youth to discover the purpose for their living.
Wow.
And we do that through teaching them to have an intimate relationship with Jesus.
Wow.
We have a lot of platforms and programs teaching young people about discovering their purpose, but few teach them about discovering their purpose in Jesus. So our focus has been not only discovering your purpose, but discovering your purpose in Jesus, because we believe in Him we live, we move, and we have our being. So I do that, and within Purpose Discovery, we have evangelism and discipleship. We have leadership empowerment. We also have mental health support. But other than that, I have a private practice, private counseling practice. It's known as Lead Me Consultants, but we are transiting to something called Intentional Growth Hub. And our focus has been helping individuals and organizations to grow intentionally. There is growing and growing intentionally.
Come on, brother.
Yeah, so I feel I've had a call to really challenge people to grow intentionally. And within the now Intentional Growth Hub, we have one-on-one counseling services. We have mental health trainings. We have mentorship and coaching programs for different people, different categories. And for a couple of years now, I've also been working with Cornerstone Development Tanzania, which has a focus of helping to raise the 7 leaders. We call it the cornerstones of Africa Next Generation. So my work revolves around all those things: mentorship, counseling, teaching, public speaking, discipling. And I'm so much passionate about young people and traveling and showing the love of God to other people.
Man. Someone really talks about what they do, and then you'll be like, oh my goodness, what have I done? But honestly speaking, I see, I think on a weekly basis, I really see you posting. And I mean, I told you that it is as if like we've been together, because you are ever present. You are always there, and we are seeing what you're doing. Man, I'm super proud of the work that you're doing. And Tanzania, not only Tanzania, because you are not limited to Tanzania, but you are, you are our brother, you're the son of this land, Africa, and everywhere. But honestly speaking, you are really, really helping this generation and shaping the next generation to come. And you've really mentioned something about intentional growth. Whenever intentionality is involved in something, the difference has to be there, obviously. So thank you so very much. I commend what you're doing. I'm super happy. And man, I can't wait. I think in June next month, we are having a session together, and I really can't wait, man. I can't wait to be hosted by you for sure.
Thank you.
I think they have really gotten a glimpse of what you do and who you are and part of what you're doing. And the good thing you say that it's your calling, like it's something that you feel called to. It's not something that you really want to make money out of, though money is there, but it is part of who you are. And I really, really love it, man. Whenever I'm watching these videos, I'm really inspired, because you can really see a heart behind. You can see the motive behind, and the motive behind is transformation. And you are helping people grow more to become like Jesus Christ. And man, that is what we are called to do.
That's true.
But before we dive deeper, I just want to ask you like a few questions here to spice to spice our conversation. I want to ask you, I've ever passed through Tanzania, but I want to know, like, if someone is in your city, someone is there, what would be your advice to this person who's maybe traveling to your city? What would be a few things that, whenever you want, these people to love you, behave like this, walk like this, talk like this, and I just want those tricks. So by the moment I am there, I'm like, this is how I have to treat these people around. Maybe there should be there is a language that whenever you use this language, people here are not going to welcome you, but when you use this language, people are going to welcome you and show you love.
I love it. Such an interesting question. So for the past many years, I've been living on the northern eastern side of the country, famous city known as Arusha. But I moved.
Is it Arusha?
Arusha. Yes.
Okay.
Last year around October, I moved to Dar es Salaam. But now, oftentimes when people ask me where do you live, I say I live between two cities. I spend most of my time in Dar es Salaam, but I keep going to Arusha for different reasons. Now, one unique thing about not only Arusha or Dar es Salaam, I think about Tanzania, I would say. I think Tanzanians are very kind. Are very kind. So if you come to Tanzania,
yourself and some few friends that I have.
Sure. If you come to Tanzania, try and carry yourself with kindness. I mean, it's very easy to meet someone on the road and ask them of a direction, and they may probably not only tell you, but they may want to even escort you to make sure you go safe where you are without asking for anything. I think we have built that culture, the ujamaa culture. We are into each other's. We care about each other. So that's one of the beautiful thing about Tanzania. But number two, it's a very peaceful country. Very peaceful country, and Tanzania are peaceful people. So you are invited. Your community is invited to Tanzania. But please, when you come, try and be kind also try and be peaceful.
Awesome. And of course, like the opposite of that, people are not going to welcome you. They'll be like, the question mark will be there. That's really encouraging.
Sure.
So someone is in Tanzania, and what like, just, we are curious to know, what is like the favorite food, or maybe the food there. How is it like if someone comes and you be like, ma'am, you have to test this food, what would that be?
Tanzanians may stone me because of my answers. So honestly, I would say this is my observation. I can't tell that there is probably one food that unifies us, but there is a kind of food that's often eaten by most people. So we have ugali maharage. Posho and beans. Posho and beans is like often eaten. I don't think if there is a Tanzanian who doesn't eat ugali maharage or wali or bwabwa maharage. Wali maharage means rice and beans. So I think growing up, I've had a privilege to live in different cities, and I've seen at least this is a kind of food that is often eaten by most people. But I would say there are also different kinds of food based on the region you are. For example, if you go to the rec zone, they eat a lot of fish. Or maybe when you go to the coastal, they have their kind of food. But ugali maharage, wali maharage, rice beans, posho beans is the food that is consumed to often like almost everyone. And again, in cities like Arusha, the Maasais love meat. Especially beef. So if you really want some good beef, you should visit Arusha.
Awesome. Oh, that's really nice. 2 words, or maybe someone is there and they don't speak Swahili, and what are 2 greeting words? Like maybe you come, is it ujambo, or how do you do it?
Interesting. If I'm young and I want to greet a person who is older than I will say shikamo.
Shikamo.
Yes, shikamo. And a person will say marhaba. Marhaba. Then other than that, if it's in the morning, you say habari za asubuhi. Good morning. In the afternoon, habari za mchana. Good afternoon. In the evening, habari za jioni. You want to go to bed, you say usiku mwema.
Usiku mwema.
So
that's good night.
Yes, good night.
That's
good
really
night.
nice. Awesome. That's really nice.
So Kiswahili is not a difficult language.
I know. So people, whenever you go to Tanzania, please make sure you at least you have 3-4 words to greet someone.
And actually, Eric, if they fail everything, they should learn nakupenda.
Nakupenda. That is I love you. Oh wow, that's really nice. Like if someone wants to say I'm proud of you, in Kiswahili.
Najivunia wewe.
Najivunia wewe.
Yes.
Najivunia wewe.
Yes.
Hey, people, I'm trying. Oh, that's really nice, my brother. So going back to our topics today, because today we are talking about 2 things. We are talking about getting healed. We've really been talking about, in the first season, we've been talking about, embracing our pasts and also healing from our past. Because, maybe you might not go back to what you used to do, but there is a healing process, and that process is there forever. And I want you to help us talk a little bit about that and how our past could have affected our mental health and everything. And, someone, maybe a few things here and there that someone can do for them to be healed. But before we go there again, I want you to, you talked about intentional growth. You talked about intentionality when it comes to growth. What really helps you to grow? Individually, what helps you to grow? What do you do to grow? And I know for sure, like, you can tell from a distance that someone is growing, and so I want you to help us know what is helping you to grow.
Thank you, Eric. It's an interesting subject, and it's a subject that I would love to be very honest. I was talking to some young people in Goma recently, and there are a lot of challenges that they have faced. And I asked them a simple question that after this conversation, if you walk outside and you fall down, what are you going to do? And they said, I'll pick myself up. Ask them again, what if you fall down again? I'll pick myself up. And what if you fall down again? I'll pick myself up. I've started with that, trying to say, one of the reasons we may fail to have intentional growth is because we do not accept vulnerability. We do not accept really conversation. In the spaces of churches, things are sometimes unrealistic. We don't have platforms that to get to understand that I suffered. I've listened to some of your conversations where you give a testimony how you had a rough past and how Jesus saved you. So I am putting this in my introduction to simply say, I will share a few things on how I'm growing intentionally, but they're backed up by one principle. When I fall, I pick myself up and I keep going. Now, I've learned a few secrets about intentional growth. Number one, I would say decide. Decide.
Oh my goodness,
It doesn't matter who talks to you, even if Angel Gabriel himself comes and gives you a sermon, at some point, you have to decide. You have to decide that you want to grow.
It is a decision.
It is a decision. It is a decision. Even the Bible itself puts it clear. I'm putting heaven and earth as witnesses before you. Choose life. There is life or death, but choose life. So number one, what area do you want to change? In that area, make a decision. Make a decision. Then number two, I love to tell people, it doesn't matter what you want to change. After deciding, involve God in the matter. Man. As simple as it may be, something like, I want to lose weight. I've been on that journey trying to lose weight. Actually, not losing weight, trying to be fit. At some point, I realized I'm losing control of my own body. These are real talks. I'm losing control of my own body. And I was like, no. I decided that I won't eat some foods. I will exercise at least every day. But I have been praying about it. Why? The Bible calls us to be stewards of our own bodies. Being a steward doesn't only mean to abstain from sex, but to eat good, to exercise. So if whatever you're doing is a godly thing, as simple as it is, the devil will fight you. So after making a decision, ask God. And you know what does he say? My face shall go with you, and my presence shall go with you, and I'll give you rest. So number two, I've said, involve God. Number three, establish systems.
Come on, brother.
Self-discipline is not enough.
Hey. Wow, too deep, brother.
Self-discipline is not enough. That's one thing I've learned. A funny one. I have a coach that I pay for weekly sessions. The very funny thing is that this coach is my buddy, my good friend. I've been going to him with the same questions over and over. And there's a day he said, no, I think you're supposed to start paying for this. He said, once you start paying, you feel that pain and you start to act. So I paid for a system.
Come on.
I
come
paid
on.
for someone to remind me
Wow.
to work on my goals. And he's on my neck. He will tell me, read this book. He will tell me, do this. I pay him. Of course, I'm not paying him very much, but it's painful because it's my money, you know?
True, yeah.
So now, system here means many things, Eric. System may mean put a porn blocker on your phone. It's a system.
Come on.
System may mean you're a young man, don't live alone. Have another bed and share a house to avoid temptation.
Yeah.
System may mean have an app that reminds you to record your expenses.
Wow.
System may mean many things. So you just need to establish a system because, for example, I've been telling people, I have an app. It's a blocker. It allows me to use Instagram for 15 minutes a day. After 15 minutes, it blocks Instagram.
Wow.
I will try and be disciplined on my own, but I may fail at some point.
I know.
So I'm putting a system. Having brothers who can call you, having a man who can tell you, stop everything you're doing, come, we have to talk. It's a system to govern your speed.
Wow.
So I said, decide, involve God, set a system.
Yeah, system.
Then number 4, I would say, unlearn the microwave approach.
Hey, people. There you go, my
Unlearn the
brother.
microwave
my
approach.
goodness. Wow.
What does microwave do? You put a plate of food, you switch it on, the food is
like
hot.
1 minute or seconds, yeah.
Now I tell people, life is not like that.
Wow.
You may hear Eric speaking, and you think it's a microwave. You want to start your podcast. No.
There is a process.
Yeah, there is
There
a
is
process.
a system in place, yeah.
There is what is called micro shifts. So avoid a microwave approach and learn microwave approach and embrace micro shifts.
Come on.
Micro
Yeah.
shifts are small things that happen to your life daily. Daily, you're making a little step.
Yeah.
A little step. A little step. Even when we come to the subject of healing,
Yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 22, it's an interesting verse. God says he will drive your enemies little by little.
Little by little, come on.
It's step
Yeah.
by step.
Wow.
So I've come to learn a godly growth is a step by step
Yeah.
growth. Then the next would be set a realistic goal.
Wow.
I'll give you a fun one. So around last year around July, I had 82 kgs, my weight. And I was like, no, I think I'm becoming a junior hippopotamus and I should change. I wanted to change. So I had to set a realistic goal. To me, a realistic goal was to try and eat little carbs, avoid things like sodas, at least walk only 5,000 steps a day. Just try those micro shifts. I had to set a realistic goal. Between last year in August and this year in January, I'd cut down 12 kgs. Now look at this. This day I was in a pharmacy and I was checking my weight. From 82, I had 70. Wow. And there was a guy close to me when I was checking my weight and he said, man, you are too big. For him, he feels that having 70 kgs, I'm still big. But for me, I've made a step because I am from 82 to 70. So a realistic goal to me may not be a realistic goal to you. So you want to grow intentionally, set a realistic goal. Then 2 more points, be a student daily. Don't graduate. Keep learning. I may speak and seem inspirational, but the more I learn, the more I realize I know nothing. So if you want to grow intentionally, have it in your mind and heart that you know nothing. Have it in your mind and heart that there is something new you have to learn. And the very last one, don't settle in temporal victory. Cheer yourself up and keep moving. I'll give you an example, Eric. We take shower every day. I take shower, you take shower, people in the community do the same. On 31st December every year, we celebrate our achievements. Do you celebrate that you've been taking shower too much? You don't. So if you, the very same way, when you take shower, you're called to take shower again. When you take shower, called take shower again. And there's no day you're like, man, this year I've taken shower 42 times, so I'm not going to take shower again. You know, where do people fail? After achieving something little, you start thinking that you're very inspirational. For example, honestly speaking, Eric, I'm in a season of my life that I'm getting busy. I was in Tanzania. I traveled to Goma, had a 7 days program.
Yeah.
I'm flying back to Tanzania tomorrow. I'll be on a train on Thursday for another program, a 3 days program. Then I'll be on a bus to another city for a 3 days program. And you know, when you're in that, I have calls. Humbly speaking, I have calls like, we have this program coming month. Can you come and speak? You called me for a podcast. Humanly, I may start thinking, man, I think I am somebody. and you start celebrating.
Right? Yeah.
But the moment you start celebrating, the moment you invite your downfall.
I'm telling you.
It is a call for everyone to know that I've not made it yet. I took shower and I must take shower. I took shower and I must take shower.
Wow.
I took shower and I must take shower. It is a continual thing, like sanctification.
Wow.
So, by the way, I've been thinking of writing a book on intentional growth. And I say, if I write this book, these will be the chapters on that book. So your community is
already have a glimpse of what is going to be in the book.
Your community is lucky to read my book before it's published.
Yeah. You have to decide, you have to involve God, you have to establish systems, you have to, work on micro shifts.
Yes.
You have
set
to
realistic goals.
Be a
student
daily.
Don't settle in temporary victory.
My goodness. Then settle. My goodness. Wow. I think like every point is a conversation.
Oh, it is.
That's really amazing, brother.
It is.
And for sure, from what you're sharing, someone can see intentionality in it. And someone like you are making steps, but like you are like it's counting step 1, step 2, step 3. Like intentionality is really good, man. And I'm super grateful that you are very intentional about your growth. And obviously everyone who follows you on your socials really know, can tell that you for sure you are doing something and you are improving and you're growing. And thank you so very much, brother. So another one, are you a movie person or books?
Interesting. If you're a leader, you must be a reader.
Come on.
So I need to admit one thing. I have learned to develop a behavior of reading books, not because I enjoy a lot, but because I have to make a decision. I read books. I honestly read books. But I think I'm more of an audio-visual learner. So if not reading, then I'll be watching. But again, I can't say I'm a movie person because I'm also very selective. I watch movies, but I'm very selective. So I have time to watch movies, and I also read books. So I'm in both categories. I watch, I read, though I enjoy watching and listening probably than reading, really nice. But I'm pushing myself to read because every leader must be a reader. What is your current read? So I've just finished a book called The Mountain Is You by Brianna Waste.
The Mountain Is You.
Yes. It's a book about self-sabotage. Such an interesting book. And on my list now, I am reading Talk Like Ted. Yeah, it's just a book on, TED Talks. So training people on how to bring about a smart presentation. But the book that I recently finished is The Mountain Is You. And now I'm on Talk Like Ted.
Super encouraging, brother.
So
going to our topic.
Sure.
You've watched couple of, my episodes here. And, part of my story, what I went through, I've also shared with my community here. So there is someone outside there who's like, I'm born again, I've given my life to Christ, and I'm on a journey of, becoming more like him. But the consequences of what I've done, I'm confused. I'm really trying my level best. I've not gone back. I've stopped doing what I was doing, but there are consequences, or I need healing. I'm broken to some extent. So what do you think what we have done in the past contributes to our mental health issues?
Wow, such a profound question. So, sincerely speaking, especially from the psychology standpoint, most of the things we do, especially those which are not good in the past, they're in a way stored in our brains, in a way stored in our hearts. And if we haven't found a way to deal with them, there's a way they will haunt us in the future.
Yeah.
Actually, for example, there is a psychologist called Daniel Amen, has interesting brain scans. They are online. If you just Google Daniel Amen's brain scans, you see, for example, let's say someone has been consuming a lot of pornography. Daniel Amen shows how they damage their brain. If someone is angry, how that reacts to their brain and everything. So first and foremost, it is true that this evil practice we have had in the past, they are registered in the brain. They're registered in our minds. That is psychologically very true. But in my, would I say, many or few years of counseling practice, I have come to realize that healing is true, healing is real.
Wow.
So when I talk about mental health and the effect of the past, I don't love to just show people how much broken they are. It's true they had gone through a lot. Let me tell you, people already know that devil has disturbed them. People already know that they are sinners. So I am against a kind of mental health or counseling or any teachings that want to explain more about how bad is the devil. So in my teachings, I spend less time to show you the damage. For example, I had a teaching on trauma, and I was showing these young people how trauma can affect their brain, how trauma can bring questions to their spirituality. Questions like, is God real? Does God care for us? Why are we good people and we get bad things? But later I try to shift a gear and show them the part of healing.
True.
Because they are already bothered. They know that they're bothered. You just help them to put the biology and the psychology of why are they suffering. But later it's important to spend much time in the healing. So yes, these things are registered in our brains. But what I would love to share more, Eric, if you'll allow, is now, yes, they're registered, but what comes next? How can we get out of that?
Awesome. Absolutely, we are going that line. So because I've really talked about my past a lot, and I've really been doing the same. A young man reaches out and they tell you maybe they're struggling with pornography and masturbation, and they're asking you questions of how they can recover from that. And ma'am, I really spend a few talking about the consequences. I'm like, because you have done this might come as a result. But I really spend much time talking about, imagine if this stopped. Imagine the life, the joy, the growth and everything. So I just want us here to go in that line of discovering our identity, and also the life that is after than as you're saying, than talking about the devil is there. Yes, he's there.
We already know.
We already know. But how can I really not even be afraid in the healing process? You get what I'm saying? You approach someone and then they intimidate you. They'll be like, oh my, you are done, you are finished because you've done such a things. But honestly, we have to spend time telling them, this is your identity. This is who you have to become. If this has stopped, this is, the positive, consequences. This is the life that is going to come as a result. So take us there for sure.
Wonderful. So let's break this down slowly. What is the Kinyarwanda word for slowly?
Gache.
And what about gahoro?
Gahoro, yes.
Gahoro.
Same things,
the Ugandans say mpola.
Mpola.
The Tanzanians say taratibu. Now, Eric, we know the power and the change that comes when we give our life to Jesus. According to 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17, is it 7:17? We become a new creation. The old is gone. Behold, the new has come. Now, there is one thing which, when it's said, it may bring mixed feelings, but it is what it is. This is what I love to say. Salvation saves you from the penalty of sin. When you confess, Romans chapter 10 verse 9, you believe with your heart and you confess with your mouth, you are redeemed from the penalty of sin. But you're not redeemed from the power of sin.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
What redeems someone from the power of sin is sanctification.
Come on.
And according to John 17:17, the scriptures say, sanctify them by your truth. Your word is truth. So a foundation that I would love to build to anyone struggling, especially those who believe in Jesus. You know, when you say you're not alone, it may sound like you're trying to say, oh, keep struggling. No. We're not trying to say keep struggling. But number one is true, you're not alone. It's something that most people struggle. Though that shouldn't sound as an excuse for you to continue struggling. But number two, what I have learned to embrace is that sanctification is a bit by bit process.
Wow.
Actually, from the theological standpoint, sanctification is defined as the wash is dropwise, in a sense that you need to be able to stay to get little drops daily, but wait until you're completely delivered. But where people give up is when they are waiting for the drops and they see no change and they run. Now let me tell you one thing. Psalms 103 verse 7 reads, God showed his ways to Moses and his deeds to the Israelites. When God is training you to be a leader, like you, Eric, he doesn't want you to see his deeds. He wants you to see his ways. As a matter of fact, he wants you to partake in making a way. That's why he told Moses to divide the Red Sea. Moses didn't say, oh my God, it is divided. Moses took his stick and participated in dividing. Now, a process of delivering a leader is different from a process of delivering a follower. Because followers, when they see miracles, they are okay. But leaders have to see way and to participate in making a way. Why do I give this example? I am a leader. I know addiction. I know what it means to be in these bad and dark spaces. And that helps me to have so much compassion to the people I lead and help, because I know what it means to be in such spaces. I know how it means to cry before God and wait on him and say, God, I'm not okay with this. So an encouragement I have today for anyone who believes in Jesus, the confession, the belief in your heart and confession of your mouth is setting you from the penalty of sin. But the sanctification will set you from the power of sin. So if I'll go deep, I would say my encouragement to someone struggling, you know, Eric, I am having a background in psychology and counseling, and I'm a practicing counselor. But I've been bothered, Eric, on why do some of the psychologists commit suicide? With their level of understanding, they were not supposed to kill themselves. And here's where God revealed this thing to me, that psychology, mental health, counseling, leadership, science, by itself without God is empty.
Come on, brother.
The world standard will tell you, you are addicted, make sure you have enough time for sports. Okay, what am I going to do with my addictions when I'm not doing sports?
Come on.
So this is what I've come to learn. I harness psychology, I harness counseling, I use those principles. But there's a moment I had a curious question in my mind, and was, when a counselor has their problem, who do they talk to?
Come on, yeah.
From Goma, I have had, in 1 week, I've been able to listen to about 23 cases.
Wow.
Traumatic cases. Be sure, Eric, I'm a human being with a heart of flesh. So there's the moment I wanted to cry. The moment I was emotional, hearing all this. So I am a counselor. Who do I talk to? You say, go and see a counselor. I'll go and see a counselor. And that counselor needs a counselor.
True.
And that counselor needs a counselor. And that is answered in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. Jesus is called a wonderful counselor.
Come on.
So as much as I would love to appear before the camera and your community and show them the power of psychology, I think in Christ there is so much power of healing than in psychology.
Come on, brother.
Psychology by itself is not enough.
Yeah.
So I would say, number one, have an intimate relationship with Jesus.
There you go.
Have an intimate
my
relationship
brother.
with Jesus.
Come on.
I've been practicing. I know how easy it is for a person who believes in the power of Jesus to find their freedom than the person who only believes in psychological methodologies. I don't despise them, but they are lesser than the power that is in Christ.
Come on. Yeah.
So, and one thing I love very much from the Bible, the book of Revelation chapter 3 verse 20, he say, I stand and knock. For anyone who opens, I will enter. I love how New Living Translation says, I'll have a meal with them and they will be my friends. So when we have given our life to Jesus, we have entered a family. He's no longer a distant God. He becomes our friend.
Come on, brother.
As a matter of fact, he becomes our elder brother.
Come on.
If you read the Bible carefully, you realize that Christ is our elder brother. So, you know, when you are in this family, you have an access to the throne of mercy and grace.
Come on. Yeah.
So, brothers and sisters, my number one encouragement would be stay there.
Yeah.
Have an intimate relationship with Jesus.
Yes.
He's ready to help you. He's ready to redeem you. He's ready to help you be sanctified step by step. His mercies are new every morning. His mercies are new every morning. So that will be number one. Make sure you have an intimate relationship with Christ. And again, Eric, I will say one thing that was revealed to me at the end of April. I was doing my devotion. And I heard in my spirit, actually on my social media, I've made a teaching on this, just a short clip. I had a voice telling me, son, do you know the account of mercy has a fresh deposit every day?
Wow.
When he says his mercies are new every morning.
Day,
Every day. Every morning his mercies are new. The account of mercy has a fresh deposit every day. So I don't act on last year's deposit. I don't act on yesterday's deposit.
They're new.
I act on today's deposit. So why do I say intimate relationship? Because I want to assure you, in the journey of breaking free, you will fall again. That's not said often. And you know, Eric, they did thing where someone is heavily addicted, they go and someone just lay hand on them and they're free. That happens. But even if you break and you chase the demon, you need to take them through a step-by-step sanctification to break the pattern. So staying in Jesus is staying in a process of sanctification, is staying in a process of breaking the patterns. But number two, again, I would say establish systems. Systems work better than self-discipline. I will tell you the truth. One mentor of mine say, cut the supply. Sometimes it's easy to go back to relapse just because of the supply.
True.
Because of the supply. So after all this, you have given your life to Christ, the sanctification is going on. What systems are you setting around to make sure you're protected? It's a challenge to myself. It's a challenge to you. We're not like heroes just speaking to the community, but we are believers reminding each other what systems are we setting. And sometimes these things are not oftenly said in the church spaces, as in. I rarely hear people speak about putting a pond block. There is a book I encourage people of your community to read. It is called Clean. A plan for men committed to pursuing sexual integrity. Authored by Dr. Douglas Weiss. I just finished reading it in February, I think. Yes, in February, if not March. Such a powerful book. Douglas Weiss had a strong background in psychology and strong background in theology, and he was an addict. So he teaches on how you can establish systems, put a pond block, have an accountability software. I tell those I mentor, I have pond blockers on my phone, and they're like, you're a man of God. I say I'm a man of God, but I'm a man before a man of God. You know, these are very honest conversations.
I am a man before I am a man
Yes.
of God. Come on, hashtag I am a man before I am a man.
Yeah, so put
Wow.
a block. I'll give a short example.
Yeah,
Eric, there's a day I
wow.
had my devotion, read my Bible. Then I went to Boom Play to just play a song for worship. Was opening Boom Play and something that wasn't good pop. And I tell them, you may get yourself in a place where you start arguing. You want to rebuke in the name of Jesus, but you want to
you're
open.
scoring and you want to
you
open.
see. Yeah. So
Yeah.
blockers are systems have accountability partners of the same gender.
Come on.
Brothers that you can tell them before it happens. And even if it happened, you can tell them, bro, I messed up and I need to be helped. Have those that will hold you as an iron sharpens an iron, so a man sharpens a man. So have systems. Number 3, be graceful to yourself. I mean, change is not just going to happen just like that. I listened to a testimony of a guy who was an ex-Satanist, and he was showing how it took him step by step to serve Satan, and how it had to take him step by step to leave that pattern. So for whoever is being bothered by something, please be gracious to yourself. Make a decision to change, but be gracious to yourself. Then number 4, I would say vulnerability.
Wow.
Let me show you this, Eric. In the Bible, there's this part where Jesus is with his disciples and is dozing. They are like on a boat and moving. He's dozing, and when you read the Bible, the student didn't feel good. They felt Jesus didn't care that the storm was happening. Now look at it. Jesus wakes up and tells the storm, shh. And for me, I love to tell people, don't read the Bible very serious. Jesus made that simple gesture, took his blanket back, he continued sleeping or snoring, if that's what I was doing. Now, fast forward, he's in Gethsemane, closer to crucifixion. He asks his disciples, can't you pray with me even for 1 hour? Let me tell you this, Eric. Jesus didn't say, John, come and pray with me. At that moment, if you read, actually, I did a little analysis of that part from the psychological point of view. At that time, he was broken. He needed help. And he said, can't you pray with me at least for 1 hour? He was vulnerable enough to asking help. So one thing that I would love the church, the community to understand, it is okay to ask help. You don't become less spiritual when you say, guys, pray with me. And one thing I've learned is to be vulnerable to God and to mankind. Apostle Joshua Selman says one of the things which can mess with your future is unaddressed weaknesses. So he says, if you have an unaddressed weakness, go before God and tell him, Father, this is not okay. I need your help. Vulnerable before God, and also vulnerable before the few that God has brought your way, so that they hold your hand, they support you. I know there are more things I can say, but I want to stop there for now. If you have a question, and I'll continue sharing more practical.
Recently, I had a conversation with a brother Enoch, and he said, when we are inviting you to our community, we invite you as you are, but we don't allow you to remain as you are. You have to grow. So growth comes as a result of community. So, brother, talk about community. What is community to you? What is accountability partnership to you?
You're already giving a sermon, Eric.
I know,
and I was moved with that sermon already.
Wow.
This podcast is brought by iSmart House, your best podcast agency.
Remember, we represent Christ in everything that we are doing.